We have multiple major New York Knicks updates, including Kristaps Porzingis speaking out on Knicks fans entirely and discussing all of this as a former Knick, while also we saw the key to what the New York Knicks did right all season and trusted by, and now watches the Knicks have a clear X factor as they move on to the next round, the Eastern Conference Finals, for the first time in 25 years, and we're going to break this all down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here. I've made nearly 1,000 videos on Knicks Digest. Today, things feel a lot different, as for the first time the Knicks have made the Eastern Conference Finals in 25 years. That's longer. I have not been alive for this ever, but we all know that, so let's jump into the video and break it all down. Look, if you're part of that 69.9% that's not subscribed to Knicks Digest, make sure to subscribe for daily New York Knicks videos like this one. We have a bunch of different types of videos coming out. We're making a bunch of fun changes to Knicks Digest as well. Nothing major. You're still going to have to look at this ugly face, unfortunately, but we'll put up more highlights so you won't have to look at me as much, and maybe you won't have to hear my voice as much as well, but here we are. Let's do this thing. I feel insane right now because of this win. Look, Kristaps Porzingis, a former Knick, drafted 4th overall by the New York Knicks in 2015. Many of us remember. He spoke out on losing this series to the New York Knicks. Now, we also heard Jalen Brown speak out, and I thought about doing a video on that, but it really was just that one line where he said it felt like death losing to the Knicks. Well, sucks. Sorry. You did. Knicks to the conference finals. And Kristaps Porzingis, he had a much different way of speaking out on this as well. And Porzingis discussed Knicks fans entirely in this process, saying the support from Knicks fans was through the roof tonight and all throughout the playoffs. They have unbelievable fans. It's an unbelievable city, and there's a side of me that's very, very happy for them. Now, on top of that, he also said, I think my system is not perfect right now. It's not working the way it should be. Many weird things are happening. The best thing I might need right now is to rest, get some sun, and let the system even itself out. It's definitely a very frustrating time for me. So despite the fact that they did get eliminated from the playoffs, as we know, this, in a weird way, might not be the worst thing that's ever happened to the Celtics. Kristaps Porzingis is ill. There's something going on. My bet is that it's long COVID. I really hope I'm wrong and that it's something a lot more minor. Look, Kristaps Porzingis was drafted by the Knicks and he left in an ugly way. That doesn't mean we're ever going to wish ill will on the man. And on top of that, he's spoken out a lot on how he regrets his decision to leave the Knicks in the manner that he did. Look, the Knicks were terrible when Porzingis was there. And we're going to talk more about the Knicks in the past at the end of the video, but the Knicks were terrible when Porzingis was there. Phil Jackson was a complete imbecile, and after that, it's not like the front office instantly got better as well. Steve Mills and Scott Perry took over. They were a nightmare, so Kings fans buckle in for Scott Perry. On top of that, what we're seeing is a guy who has dealt with a bunch of illnesses and injuries throughout his NBA career, ended up leaving the Knicks in an unfortunate way. We never thought when he tore his ACL that would be the last time we'd ever see Porzingis suit up for the Knicks when he played against the Milwaukee Bucks. So it happened. Obviously, things change. Porzingis has been moved around a lot, and he's likely going to get traded again this summer as well, which is interesting. With all this discussion about, well, him talking about the Knicks and all that, there's a lot of Knicks fans out there who very much would be okay with Kristaps Porzingis trying to make the reunion with the Knicks. Do I think that's going to happen? It's very unlikely. But there is a world where if he gets bought out, the New York Knicks would take a serious look into adding a 5 out, especially when Porzingis is on that very, very, very buy low situation right now. I could see Leon Rose trying to finagle something. It would not be the most shocking thing I've seen. And also, it would be kind of cool to see Porzingis come back after all these years. So we'll see. I don't expect it to happen. I'm not sitting here expecting that, but I am saying that it is something that Knicks fans should keep an eye out for, just in case. Now, Porzingis playing poorly was one of the big reasons why the Knicks won this series. I mean, he didn't have a single game in double digits, had 0 points in one game, had 1 point, 1 rebound, and 1 assist in another game, or 1 steal, or block. I can't speak right now. But outside of that, he had a game with 3 points, 7 points, 5 points, 8 points. He did not play well. He was not healthy, and that did play a part in the New York Knicks winning this series. All that being said, Porzingis, if you're watching this for some reason, which would be shocking, I do hope you feel better, man. All the prayers and love to Kristaps Porzingis and Jason Tatum, and hoping that they get better very soon. However, we're Knicks Digest. We're going to talk about the Knicks, specifically one Knick in particular right now, but also a few more as this video goes on. Absolute cinema. Mitchell Robinson's been on the New York Knicks since we were terrible, since we were the NBA's punchline for a very long time. Mitch was there. When he got drafted, his first ever interview, what he said is hopefully it ends in a ring. The Knicks are now 8 wins away from Mitchell Robinson fulfilling the thing that he said the first time he ever got interviewed as a New York Knick. That is incredible to think about, and it's a huge reason because of Mitchell Robinson in general. We look at every single lineup the Knicks used, and this just deserves to be bigger because Mitch deserves it, as he's a big man himself. every single lineup that the Knicks used that were used in any span of time, what we saw was the net rating was always best when Mitchell Robinson was on the floor. The starting lineup had a negative 9.5 net rating, while a lineup that you replace Towns with Mitchell Robinson, you see go to 12.3. You see OG Anunoby, Josh Hart, Jalen Brunson, Deuce McBride, Mitchell Robinson have a 47-point net rating positively. You see OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, Jalen Brunson, Mitchell Robinson, Deuce McBride. You see a 48. You see a 40 with Towns, Payne, Mikal Bridges, Mitchell Robinson, and Deuce McBride. So you don't even need Jalen Brunson out there at times. You have OG Anunoby, Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, Mitchell Robinson, Deuce McBride. That one did not do well. However, on top of that, you look at the best one on this list, Karl-Anthony Towns, Josh Hart, Mikal, Mitch, Deuce, McBride. We're seeing a pattern, and that's that Mitchell Robinson, when he's on the floor, positively impacts the Knicks. And we've seen this time and time again. This isn't new news that we're watching Mitchell Robinson be this positive impact player. We've seen it time and time again. And even when you look at, again, we got to make it bigger, even when you look at the top two-man lineups played, what we see is a common denominator. The lineups with Mitch are always the best net ratings. I mean, we see this lineup where Deuce and Mitch together have a 14 net rating. Mitch and Mikal together have a 15. Brunson and Mitch is the best net rated group that actually got real minutes in this playoff series. What we saw was them have a 22.5 net rating together. Brunson and Mitch work together because Brunson, who's not a very good defender, is able to get guys to go towards Mitchell Robinson, who takes them out of the game. We see that repeatedly, that Mitchell Robinson can play defense for multiple people. And if you think he can't, then please explain to me what this is right here. Mitchell Robinson doing his thing completely, shifting over, guarding literally everybody on the Celtics, and finishing it off by ripping the ball out of Jaylen Brown's hands, forcing a steal. MSG went crazy, and what we saw after that was a New York Knicks team that got to celebrate. Why? Because look at this team. They are winners. This is a winning team, and Mitchell Robinson had a key point, and now Jalen Brunson gets to dance. No, this was not right after the game, of course, but it is worth just showing anyway because it's lovely. Look, Knicks fans get to celebrate now. We get to see this team move on and go to the conference finals. And on top of that, Mitchell Robinson's importance only gets bigger when this team goes up against the Indiana Pacers. The Pacers are a real dangerous group. They didn't just stumble into the conference finals twice. It's not like it was all injuries. Oh, wait, it was. But still, there's still a very, very, very good team that matches up with the Knicks pretty well. Do you really love the idea of Siakam guarding Karl-Anthony Towns with Miles Turner on the help? Kind of makes me nervous about how Towns is going to perform. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I don't. So it's something that we have to be aware of. It's something that we do have to think about and consider going in to this series. It's going to be interesting to see if they try to hack a Mitch, something that consistently worked less and less because Mitchell Robinson went out there, worked on his free throws, and looked phenomenal. He was the key X factor of this team, and that only grows, and we've seen that. I mean, Ian Begley mentioned it. The Knicks could have traded Mitchell Robinson and played it safe and gotten a healthy backup center at the 2025 trade deadline. They instead bet on Mitchell Robinson, who made one of the biggest plays in Game 6, where the Celtics struggled with Robinson all series long. The Knicks were plus 46 in Robinson's 124 minutes. He was incredible. And as Mitch said, I'm tall. No, but as it was mentioned by the NBA, their bench doesn't get many minutes. But it was the league's 9th-ranked bench in the regular season, and one particular reserve made the difference in this series. Mitchell Robinson missed the first 58 games of the season, not making a season debut until February 28th, and where the Knicks were having a bottom 10 defense at that point, it seemed clear their biggest offseason loss was Isaiah Hartenstein, a big man who could do the dirty work. And in this series, the Knicks were 30 points per 100 possessions better with Mitchell Robinson on the floor with a plus 18.1 net rating than they were with him off at a minus 11.9. With huge differentials on both offense and defense. And in Game 6, he authored the Knicks' signature defensive possession. In the span of 7 seconds and in transition, he rotated to every Celtic on the floor, eventually closing out to Jaylen Brown in the left corner. He smothered Brown and ripped the ball out of his hands. And if you hear those sirens, it's because this man right here, Mitchell Robinson, had the Boston Celtics in jail. Robinson was incredible. There was no other way to put it. Throughout this series, he averaged 5 points, 8 rebounds, and 1 steal in these 6 games. He had games where he had 10-plus free throws attempted because he was getting hacked. At the same time, he still had a positive impact. He was getting 6 offensive rebounds, 5 offensive rebounds, multiple different games. We saw Mitch do everything he does except block shots, and he still had an incredible impact. The Knicks got a great pick years and years ago. It's why he's the one guy who's transcended into this Leon Rose team. No one else who's on the New York Knicks has been brought in by someone who's not the Leon Rose regime. Just Mitch. Yes, he's a rim protector. Yes, rim protectors come around, but Mitch is not as replaceable as other guys are, and that's what we're seeing out of this Knicks roster. OG Anunoby even said it, saying, it's amazing. Mitch is one of one. I don't think anyone in the league can do what he does. He has the respect of his peers, and there's a lot of thought that Mitchell Robinson maybe doesn't care about basketball too much because he can't hit his free throws, because we see these off-season crossover fadeaways that he's throwing up when he's just playing with his friends. He's just having fun. The man loves basketball. He does not get enough credit for that. He truly, truly is obsessed with basketball. People just don't see it. The way that he's fought back from these injuries has been incredible, dude. He deserves all of this. Every moment that Mitchell Robinson was on the floor, the Knicks look like a more cohesive unit, and that's been the case for 7 years now. It's since they brought him in, the Knicks have looked like a more cohesive unit. Funny enough, his NBA career started with missing a free throw. The first time he stepped into a game, coincidentally, against the Boston Celtics, was when Kevin Knox rolled his ankle in the third game of the season between the New York Knicks and the Boston Celtics in Madison Square Garden. Tim Hardaway Jr. had a great game. The Knicks kept it somewhat close, but ended up losing that game like they lost many games in that 2018-19 season. To be exact, they lost 65 games. And also, between 2013 and 2021, those 8 years that the Knicks missed the playoffs, they lost 17 games more times, or they lost 65 games and won 17 more times than they made the playoffs. They had to go through that twice. What Knicks fans have been through to get to this moment is something that people are not understanding. And over the next couple of weeks and days, we're going to see more Knicks fans pop up. And there's going to be Knicks fans who are going to be like, wow, you're not real. You're not a fake Knicks fan. Do you remember the days of having to start Lou Odmanson and Cole Aldrich at the 5 and 4 and an awful unit, and watching Carmelo Anthony go down with the torn patellar tendon, having Alexei Shved lead the Knicks in points per game after the Knicks traded Pablo Pergioni for Shved in a second-round draft pick. Look, it doesn't matter. Don't take it out on Knicks fans who weren't there. Yes, I know what many Knicks fans have been through. I've been through it. This is the first time I've seen a conference finals in my life. And real quick, this video is running a bit long, but look, the Knicks made the conference finals for the first time, and I was born in 2001. I'm 23 years old. My birthday's on June 25th. It's in I'm going to be 24 in like a month. Whatever. Not the point. The point is that since 2001, the Knicks have made the playoffs a total of 8 times in my life, counting this year. That means that's a third of the time in my life. We just saw Celtics fans who are spoiled with having won 2 NBA finals in most of their lifetime. Some people have seen, 5? So we haven't seen any of that. When we watch year after year after year as basketball fans, we see sometimes it's the same team winning, like the Golden State Warriors. Sometimes it's the same guy on multiple teams, like LeBron James. Sometimes it's a one and done that you don't see get repeated, like the Toronto Raptors. What we see is these fans experience this euphoria that we always wonder as Knicks fans and anyone who's rooted for a team that does not have any success. And especially as Knicks fans, being this massive fan base that cares so much, that's missed events to watch Cole Aldrich suit up, that's went through these brutal stretches where we haven't had anything to root for and still have rooted for the Knicks. To watch this and have this moment and think, wow, I wonder what it's like to watch my favorite basketball team win a championship. A feeling that felt like we were never going to have at some point. There were points where it felt impossible. When the Knicks traded away Kristaps Porzingis and didn't get Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving and Zion Williamson, we felt lost. Yes, Julius Randle came in and solved that problem, but it's more than that. He was never going to carry the Knicks to a championship on his own. He's not even on the team anymore. But what we've seen as Knicks fans is just so much. I mean, there's year after year after year, there was time watching the Knicks. From the point where I was in 8th grade to the point where I went to college, I didn't see the Knicks make a playoff appearance. You guys did too. Whether you're my age, whatever, you went through those stretches. I understand there's people older than me, people born in like 1992, who saw the New York Knicks as a little child, and then since then, watch and watch and watch as the Knicks, being a Knicks fan, is at points, there were good moments where you'd be proud of people. You'd be proud to watch the Knicks. At other points, it was embarrassing. It was disgusting. It was hard to watch, but you did anyway. And now, like, moments like this, it pays off. It really does. It feels great. It's a feeling that now other teams, people who are fans of the Charlotte Hornets and teams like that who don't expect winning and don't see winning ever, they get to wonder, I wonder what it's like for them to feel this release from this jail. But it's not over. The Knicks need to lock in. They need to continue to push. They need to show that they can beat this Indiana Pacers team. They didn't last year. We could say it's because of the injuries, whatever. They didn't. It's time the New York Knicks lock in. We are 4 wins away from going to the NBA Finals. I get goosebumps when I say that. I didn't witness the last NBA Finals. I wasn't alive. A lot of you guys weren't too, or were too young to witness it. Take this moment and enjoy it. Who knows when it's going to happen again? It could be another 25 years. I'll be 50. That's a terrifying thought. Enjoy this moment. I know this video is the longest video I've ever put out on Knicks Digest. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and also...
Someone cooked here.
If you ever see Jalen Brunson, buy that man a beer. Or a beatbox. They sponsor that. I tried to stop recording the video, and it didn't let me, guys. It wanted to go longer.